What is up, everybody? Back with another video on this channel. Now today we're going to be talking about the 2021 stimulus check. So let's go. Alright, so here we go. 2021 stimulus check. Now if you just Google or Bing stimulus check NBC News, you'll get the article. And I'll probably leave a link to it in the description. So here we go. Now the bill already passed by the House of Representatives, and it's just up to the Senate right now whether they want to pass it or tweak it, and that's what it's saying right here. They want to give out their version of the bill. So here we go. Why 1,400? Biden promised 2,000. Was saying he did promise 2,000 payments, but in the context of raising payments in the December bill, which Republicans limit to $600. Biden says the $1,400 checks will deliver on the promise when they're added to the previous payments. So the last stimulus checks was $600, and Trump wanted this too. Trump wanted the $2,000 checks, and if everything had been done in Trump's way, we would have got the $2,000 checks last year. But things happened. I guess the Dems didn't approve of it, whatever. Anyways, so the last checks was $600, and this new one will be $1,400. So 1,400 plus 600 equals 2,000. So who gets the money? Individuals who make less than 75,000, or heads of households who make less than 112,500. For married couples who file their taxes jointly, would both qualify for the full amount if they make up 150,000. Couples will get 2,800. So obviously, if you're married, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get more money. And individuals who make 75,000 to 100,000 will still get checks, but they'll be getting less than the 1,400. And the same goes for household making 112,000 to 120,000, and couples who make more than this amount right here. Couples who make more than that amount, whatever you say, would get that much. And those who make more than these incomes right here, they wouldn't qualify for it, for the checks. So what about my kids? What about dependents? And this is what separates it from the other. This is what separates this stimulus from the other one. All the dependents will be getting a $1,400 check. It will be on the main of the household's deposit or in their name, but they will be getting a $1,400 check for each independent. So like children, adult children, college students, people with disabilities. You know, if you're 30 years old and you're not working and you're living with mom and dad, and you're dependent on whoever's the head of the household, they'll be getting a $1,400 check. So if you're a family of 4 with the household income under 150,000, you should get $5,600. So let's say if you have 9 kids, and if you just do the math, 9 times 1,400, you'll be getting $12,000. Wow. If you have 9 kids. I don't know anybody who has 9 kids. I know people who have 6 and 5, but that's about it. Not 9. So some people will get cash last time, wouldn't now. Correct. Biden agreed to demands by moderate Senate Democrats to target the checks more narrowly, which means individuals who make 80,000 to 100,000 and couples who make 160,000 to 200,000 wouldn't get any money. So that's just talking about the income, the annual income. If you make this much money, you wouldn't be getting any checks. So what if I lost my job last year and now make less? This is important. People who lost their jobs or incomes decreased for New Zealand last year should file their tax returns as soon as possible to get the maximum payment. If the IRS processes your new return by the time checks goes out, That's the income the payments will be based on. So if you filed your income taxes and you paid your taxes for 2020, which I did, then you will be getting the $1,400 checks. And this is what this is saying. And if you don't file in time, it'll be based on your 2019 income. So I think it was on April 15th. If you don't file your taxes for your tax return for 2021 before April 15th, that's the deadline, then it will go back to your 2019 income tax, and that's will decide whether you get this check or not. And what if my income went up last year? Then you would probably get a bigger check if you wait to file your tax returns until after they went out, as long as you made less than $80,000 in 2019, that is. But don't wait too long. Either the deadline to file tax returns is still April. So here's the deadline, April 15th. So just as long as if you make more than this much, where is it? Right here. You won't be getting a check in 2020. If you made this much in 2020, whether you're individual right here or if you're couples, you're not going to get the check. But this is saying if your income went up last year, as long as it didn't go up 80,000, 200,000, depending on if you have dependents or not, then you won't be getting the check. And the same goes for in 2019. That's what this is saying. If you don't do your income tax return for 2021, it's going to go off your tax in 2019. So that's what that's saying. Would it come by direct deposit or paper check? If the IRS has your bank account information on file, it's going to go to your direct deposit. And if not, you're just going to get a paper check. So just make sure your information is up to date. You know, if you want a direct deposit, which is what I prefer. I mean, people get it faster. It's how I got mine. It just goes straight to your account. So if you don't set up a bank account, do whatever you need to do. Get that direct deposit. Don't wait on a check, because I mean, I heard of people getting it 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, and I got my income return in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I got it really fast, and I still know people today that they filed their income tax and they haven't gotten it. So it's like a no-brainer to get direct deposit. So if it's a paper check, will Biden sign it like Trump did? Unclear. A White House spokesperson declined to comment. So I'm guessing Trump signed the paper checks if you got a check, and Biden won't, or it's unclear right now. Pretty cool. You got a check signed by Trump. I don't know if it was like a computer or in his own hand. I'm assuming by computer, because I don't think anybody has time to sign millions of checks. Would I have to pay taxes on the payments? No, absolutely not. This relief bill is untaxable by the government. This is straight to people's accounts, straight to the American people. This is not taxable by the government. So you don't have to worry about anything taxable by the government. So I'm not a U.S. citizen, but I'm a lawful resident. Would I qualify? Yes, if you have a social security number. So okay. So if you have a social security number, then yes, it will be getting a check. I'm living in the U.S. illegally and pay taxes. Would I get a check? No, you need a valid social security number. I mean, this. What if I'm married to an undocumented immigrant? Yes, you would get a payment and your spouse wouldn't. The same goes for your children. For every family member with a social security number would get a payment. So I guess all this is in reference to the last stimulus check, because I know people undocumented were getting checks, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with it or not, but I mean, whether you're living in the U.S. legally or illegally, I guess you're affected by the government. So that's what the Democrats were trying to get at. They wanted to give checks to everybody. And this is what this package is for everybody. Excuse me, this new Senate bill. So I owe child support. Could they take my check? If you owe child support or student debt to the federal government, you should be protected from garnishment. But debt owed to private entities isn't protected by the Arkansas Senate rules governing this process. So if you owe child support or debt, I think you're good. You're protected by this. You're protected by the government. By this bill, you shouldn't be getting. You should get the full check and not a portion of it. When would this bill become law? Democrats say that it's signed by March 14th, and that's still realistic. So it's still in the process. The Senate is still debating and doing whatever the Senate does. How quickly will the payments go out? The IRS has done a couple of times already. So it's saying here that it should go fairly quickly because we've already done past stimulus checks and they already know the full process of it. So they're saying this one's going a little faster than the previous one. So keep your eye out. My final thoughts on all of this. What separates this one from all the other stimulus checks are the dependents. I mean, this relief bill, if you're dependent, you're gonna benefit from this one, because the last stimulus checks, a lot of college students, they didn't get a bill, they didn't get a check. People with disabilities who are living with mom and dad, anybody living with mom and dad, not working, not having income, not filing their taxes, they didn't get nothing. And this right here is probably the best stimulus check in my opinion, because everybody's affected by it, not just adults, not just people who are working. I mean, if there's college students going out to college and they're risking their time, whether it be online school or I know some in-school classes, people are still going to those. They're risking their lives by the virus, and if you have 9 dependents, you will be getting that 12,000 like I showed. And this is a pretty good bill, a relief bill. Because I know a lot of people who are college students or whatever, and they didn't get nothing. So if you're like 35 and not working, 48, you will be getting a check and you're dependent on somebody. So yeah. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, give me a like, hey, subscribe, whatever. Alright, see you on the next one. Bye bye.